Hello, 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 and welcome back to the next episode of Pink Yoga. That. So, first and foremost, it's me, Devereaux, Mr. Dev Nasty, up in the house. Who am I speaking to?
I am Nick at Night.
Okay, and who else?
And Miss Gigi Michelle.
Awesome. Now, guys, we will have a guest that will be coming into our episode later on. So stay tuned. I will let her introduce herself when she comes in. But for right now, before we get the episode started, Gigi, would you like to discuss your project on the side with Keep a G Productions?
Oh my gosh. Sorry, not guys. Okay, so my show is on every Wednesday on One Shot Radio app. You guys can download that. And you can also find the show on Instagram at Keep a G Productions on Instagram.
Awesome. So guys, like she said, tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 7. Yes. We have to support Black businesses up in here.
We're all family around here.
That's right. But speaking of Black, Nick had a topic for us that he wanted to discuss. He wanted us to opine on and bring it to the attention of all of our listeners. Nick, please talk to us. What are we talking about today?
So today I want to dive deeper in what it means to be Black, because I do believe that as a culture we all have our own identity and we all have our own definition of what it means to wear the skin that we do.
Okay.
So today I want to dive a little bit deeper into your heads to see where you guys stand on your Negro-ness.
So this is to all the Negroes and Negresses out there?
Yes.
Awesome. So
I did.
So where do we start? Bring us in.
Well, my first question that I want to ask you guys is, what is your definition of being Black?
You want to go first, G?
I gotta go first?
Yes. Ladies first.
To me, well, how I was raised, it wasn't really different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, my parents, made sure I was knowledgeable about the things that goes on and all that, but they raised me to not be afraid of that. So I feel like I'm no different, for real.
Okay.
I've never experienced racism, so that could be also why I feel like I'm no different, or I've never been like looked at differently. I haven't been, like nothing. So
Okay. That's fair.
I really don't. Never experienced it.
Okay.
So.
Because I know for me, when I think about being Black, and for me, a lot of it comes from what I've noticed growing up, not necessarily from anything my family taught me or anything, because we really didn't have a lot of those, talks of what it means to be Black. It was just, for me, things that I noticed. Like, I always notice how people try to make being Black a personality trait. Because I think we've all run into that person that always says, oh, well, who's not a person, who's not Black or even a person of color. They always say, oh, I'm a Black girl in a white girl's body, or I'm a Black guy in a white guy's body, or, oh, that's ghetto, or oh, that's ratchet, or stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of times being Black is equated to a personality trait. But for me, being Black is just a part of who I am. It's a part of my swagger. It's a part of how people, first look at me when they first meet me. I think that being Black, there's a lot of power in it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of power in being Black because we've overcome so much, because we've dug ourselves out of the hole and are continuing that fight. There's pride in being Black with all of the roadblocks and whatnot that we've had to overcome over time and are still overcoming.
What I do hate is it seems like people don't want you to be proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when you are, it's like they're looking at you as you're racist.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's just bizarre as hell, because Caucasians definitely let everybody know that they're proud to be Caucasian.
Yes.
Or just any other race.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why it makes it different for Blacks to feel some type of way.
Absolutely.
Just for celebrating that they're Black.
Yeah. And I think that another thing that comes with being Black, when I speak of power, I speak in the sense of it's not physical power. It's not a power that's so in your face. It's a power that you don't even realize is happening, because we're so in your face when it comes to art, literature, music. It's very subtle.
Sports.
Yes, sports. It's very subtle, but when you think about it, it's so in your face and it's so powerful. So many of the things that other cultures celebrate today when it comes to hairstyles, clothing, traditions, a lot of that is built on the backs of Black people, of Africans, of Jamaicans. There's so much culture within us that is being celebrated and sometimes used against us today. And I think right now we're in a time where we're fighting for our culture back because it's been exploited. I mean, how long has it been that, and I can speak more so for not speak for it, but what I've noticed with Black women. Black women have always been tormented for the color of their skin, their physical features being like big lips or, big eyes or a certain nose shape, big butts or what have you. And now there are so many people who are not women of color, Caucasian women who go out for those. They get tanning for deeper skin complexions. They wear their hair in certain styles. They go and get injections in their lips. They go get butt injections, to have that curvier appearance. And I find that it's so common now, and I feel like that's why so many of us feel a type of way, is because a part of our culture and a part of our appearance that we were mocked for is now being appreciated by people who demeaned us for it. So, but Nick, what does it mean to you to be Black?
For me to be Black, it's just me living in the skin that I live in. Me going through my regular day to day, because I don't go out and get my hair done, or I don't go out and try to get bigger lips and all that extra. It's just me being me. I didn't ask to be in the skin that I'm in, but I'm not going to sit here and be upset because I am who I am.
Right.
And a lot of people, even within our own culture, they want to discriminate because we have certain features, and people don't like certain things about it. It's like okay, I didn't choose to be like this. This is just who I am.
Yeah.
And so, and that also comes with, that's a physical and a mental thing. Even when it is mental, the things that I like, it's not, Black people aren't usually into an anime. Okay, so what correlation does that have with anything?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Because I'm Black, I can't like something. That's just dumb. And you hear a lot more from Black people than you do others. And that's just dumb. Yeah. And I think because we push our culture so heavily, having an outside culture, have some sort of influence on us is kind of seen as like traitorous. Yeah. So we kind of demonize others for being more open-minded, because we're not stuck to listening to just R&B or rap. Right. Some of us like alternative. Some of us like the lo-fi. Some of us like heavy metal. Some of us like K-pop or whatever it may be. But because we're so Black power, we can't see that there are others around us.
Yeah. And I think that's why I brought up the whole notion of we're still in a place where we're trying to get a lot of our culture back, but I feel like there's a weird thing too where it's a thing between the older generation and the current generation.
Definitely.
Because their beliefs and their cultures are much different from ours.
But once again, they're the ones that open up the floodgates for that to happen. Because if it wasn't for Generation X being into what they were into, we wouldn't adopt it and we wouldn't carry it forward. Right. Because if I remember, correctly, you remember Toonami? That came on during the 90s. That was Generation X's time to be. We were coming in, but that was their time to be. So technically, they gave us that.
But I say more in the okay, because my thing, the way I look at it, like when you look at Black culture, you look at a lot of like the music that they listen to or certain traditions, like how we all come, like for example, like for the most part, and I can't speak for all nationalities or races or whatever, but at least for us, we tend to all come together for like family reunions at certain places, or we come together for Christmas, and there's always Thanksgiving at grandma's house, or Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner at grandma's house or granddad's house or what have you. And what it looks to me now is that a lot of us are kind of veering off from that.
Right.
You know,
Definitely.
and a lot of them have issues with that because it's like, no, this is a part of our tradition. So to me, I feel like at times, and not condoning this, because I feel like a lot of the elder generation has used poor ways of dealing with this. But I feel like the older generation feels like our culture and our traditions should go a certain way and should remain. And the fact that things are changing so much is threatening to them.
Well, that's an ageism thing within itself.
Exactly.
Because especially with Black people,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to Black people in ageism, old folks just cannot compute.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't.
Mm-hmm.
So what was regular back in the day may not be regular now.
Right.
You know, we're doing different things, because once you have to remember, the technological age has blossomed. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is. So if we see things that we want to go and do, or, you know, we say, hey, I like this instead of that. When it comes to old people and they don't know how to do something, they'll demonize it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give you an example. So whenever I go to a family reunion and I'm sitting there listening to an old song and I start singing it, the one thing that always irritates me is, what you know about that?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, you can still remember?
Wow.
It's a little outside of character. But the point still remains.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know it and you don't know that I know it, it's like, you have to understand, I know what you know plus more.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that scares you, but that's just the reality of it. It's just what it is.
But see, my thing is what essentially with that, because we're gonna be those people saying that to our grandchildren, to our nieces and nephews. We're gonna be that people. So I feel like that's just a part of our thing. And the thing is, I feel like you took it personally.
I don't think it was personal.
It's
at
not
all.
personal. It's just something just to mess with you, because you're that person that will just sit there
I had
and
a
not.
Vietnam flashback.
You will literally just no, because you will sit there and not participate at all.
Mm-mm.
You're that person. So they're probably trying to come and make conversation with you to make sure you're there with them.
No.
But my question is for Gina, because obviously we're of the more darker complexion, being in this room. Growing up, did people ever make you feel less than for your skin complexion and whatnot? Like, did you ever really get that?
I feel like maybe when I was younger, like maybe like first grade, second grade, third grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not so much. And it wasn't like it was, kids from a different race or anything like that. It was, my own peers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely did experience that a couple of times, but it never bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one thing that I can say about my parents, where they instilled in me when I was young that Black is beautiful.
Yes.
Don't ever let anyone, make you feel less than or anything. My mom, was great with making sure that my self-esteem was tip top before I walked out of the house going to school or anything. So that it just really didn't bother me because I knew at the end of the day, I knew I was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, y'all gonna want this one day. So
Exactly.
you don't see it right now because you're a kid, but when you get older, I promise you're gonna wish that you were darker.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Because I had that issue growing up, and I got it a lot because for the most part when I was growing up, a lot of my classmates were lighter complexion. And then on top of that, the ones that were of darker complexion, nothing against them, but they didn't carry themselves a certain way.
Okay.
So I was usually one of the few that did carry themselves a certain way. So it not only did I get the brunt of it, but them not carrying themselves a certain way, it made it look even worse. It gave them room for more tormenting. But I didn't internalize it. Like, that was something I didn't internalize.
Yeah.
What I did internalize, though, and it's something that's carried with me even into my adult years, is the whole you talk white.
Oh, I hate
Or
that.
And something happened recently.
Dog.
I don't see you having black friends or being with somebody black romantically.
I've heard that too.
And honestly, it bothered me.
Yeah.
Like, because I got this recently because I was hanging out with some of my friends and we were talking about dating and whatnot, and I was asking, who would you see me with? And one of my friends was like, I don't see you with anybody black. And I asked why, and my other friend was like, jokingly, he was like, because you speak fluent colonizer. And I know it was a joke, I get it, but it still bothered me a bit, because to me it's like, well, it brings back the whole thing when I was younger of not being quote unquote black enough, and it made me, and it brought me all the way back to that moment.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that all my life.
Yeah,
and it's definitely nerve-wracking as hell.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my fault that my parents made sure that I didn't talk like I didn't have sense.
Yeah.
Or like my parents made sure that their kids were educated.
Yeah.
And they also knew how to pronunciate the words correctly.
Exact same here. And for me, like growing up, it being black was never a big deal until I became a teenager. It was never an issue. I even remember remember when I was changing schools, and I never thought about this until literally this year. My mom has said, I think you'll do better at the school I'm changing you to, because it won't be just all black kids. And she was like, you'll be able to meet more people and whatever. But that's another thing, is kind of like, well, how come I can't just be around black kids? Not that there's anything wrong with having friends of other races or anything, but it was just, it had that undertone of, you're different from them.
And that's how my mom did me too.
Yeah, like and over time, because I would hear little stuff like, you're not black enough, you talk white, you act white, My mom one day, she was like, because we were having a conversation, she was like, you just don't like black TV and black movies or whatever. You don't like black entertainment. And after a while, I started to internalize them, because I'm starting to think, well, is there something wrong with me? Like, do I not have black pride?
No, black entertainment is just all around crappy general.
But for me, and this is gonna sound crazy, but a lot of our entertainment is stuff that I can't necessarily relate to, because for the most part, we're always represented as thugs, crackheads, strippers, doing seedy stuff.
And it's just too much ratchetness.
Yeah, and
I can't get with it.
I can't get with it. I can't relate to that. Like, I grew up watching I could relate to the Cosby Show.
Yes.
I could relate somewhat to Blackish, and I have my opinions on that show that are unpopular.
We're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into
it
because I have my opinions on Blackish, and but I can't relate to a lot of the black television I see.
Yeah.
They're making a lot of changes now that I appreciate.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's always the same script, different cast. And that's and I explained it to my mom. I said it's nothing against us, but I just wish that we had better representation on television, because that is a demographic that I cannot relate to. But for the longest time, I felt less than of a black person, because I internalized so much of what other people were saying. I took it in. I harbored it, to where whenever I did speak, and tried to have opinion on black issues, it was always a bit of, well, can I really say that, or can I really feel this way? Because, I don't know. It was just a lot of things that I took in and held in for so long, and I'm still to this day working on.
But once again, people always say, "Oh, you're not really black. You're this and you're that." And my thing is, okay, so because I'm not, shooting, doing drugs,
and ghetto,
got 18 million babies.
Yeah,
that's what it means to be black.
Yeah.
So you should really take a step. You should really look, take a moment, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you really black?
Yeah.
Because if you ain't got 18 kids, you ain't doing coke or selling it, and you ain't been in jail at least once, are you really black?
And then my thing on top of that is why do we have this mentality that is the only way to be black?
Right.
Or you know how to rap.
Yeah, like to me, or you play basketball. Like to me, there's not, or we're buffs, no shade. But
Definitely.
to me, there's not just one way to be black. Like you can be black however you want to be.
Yeah.
You know,
just be your own person.
Exactly.
Cause actually there was an Arabic girl that said it to me. She's like, man, I'm blacker than you. And I said, how, in what way? She was like, listen to all kind of rap music. And I'm like, so would I be more Arabic if I had a jewelry store at Greenfield Plaza?
Wow.
The fuck? Like literally.
Like it can go both ways, girl.
Yeah. It can go both ways. So and I'm gonna get into it now because I can't hold it in.
Before you start, I do want to preface: do not condone any racism.
No
It's
racism
wrong.
at all.
If they say that they're blacker than you, just keep on moving and enjoy who you are. Period.
Exactly.
Look, I'm gonna say this
Yes.
before you hop into that.
Yes.
So I have a little sister, and she's like lighter complected.
Okay.
And she always would just ask my dad, like, you know, like, how come I'm like lighter? She's like the lightest one out of my dad's kids.
Mm-hmm.
So she would always ask, like, how come I'm lighter? How come she's so chocolate, or, you know, whatever. But she will always say, oh, I don't want to be that black though. Like,
Oh,
I
wow.
don't want to be that black, but I just want to know why. Like, you know, I'm so light, or, you know, whatever. And she always said, like, when she have kids, she wasn't going to have kids with a black man because she didn't want her kids to be black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, she just always said, like, little weird shit like that. And I just be like, I think you really have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people that are like that really have a problem, not only with themselves, but just the culture, period.
It's self-hate.
There is no way I would rather be anything other than black.
Yes.
Like other races.
It's also a maturity thing too.
Yeah.
Because I used to have that, and it took a lot of maturing in myself to say that's not the way to live.
Yeah.
You can't live like that, because you know I used to not be into black girls.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Really?
and it took a lot of maturity out of myself to say that's not the case. I can't think like this.
Mm-hmm.
because the relationship that I had is not every black girl on this world.
True.
Exactly.
So you have to kind of be like, okay, look, this is not how I want to live. Having that hate within you is not how anybody should live.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've never wanted anything other than a black man.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Hello.
And then I know when I was younger, I used to like him lighter because I thought it was a problem with the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got older, you're right. It is a definite mature thing. But now all I like is dark skin.
Because let me tell you, I love me a dark chocolate man.
Oh my gosh.
Like when they say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, they are not joking. Like honestly, I wish my skin was darker. Like that. Like now you'll see me out in the sun. You will see me out and about, just taking it all in. Because I think darker skin is just so beautiful.
Yep.
It's so beautiful.
It definitely is.
Okay, guys, now it's time to talk about one of my favorite brands, Palm Treat. Palm Treat has created a body of work that is a biting reflection of modern culture. Themes of nihilism, dark humor, and anti-consumerism are woven throughout the pieces of digital designs, clothing, posters, books, skate decks, pins, patches, and more that the artists of Palm Treat have created. Make sure to visit palmtree.design to indulge in the relationship between artistic expression and popular cartoons today. But here's my opinions on Blackish.
Okay.
Because I did give the show a few episode run. I usually give new shows a 3-episode trial before I decided whether I'm going to continue to watch it or not.
I wish you had told me to watch it because I know nothing about it.
Well, you know, it came out like...
Don't waste your time.
Yeah, it came out
Really?
like 2
Don't
years
waste
ago.
your time.
Wait, no. Give it a chance and see how you like it.
Okay.
Because for me, this is in no way saying people shouldn't watch it or anything like that. This is just for me. I ain't trying to mess with nobody ratings. Don't come after me. Don't come for me. I ain't trying to do it. I love y'all.
Disney own 85% of this country.
Okay,
anyway.
look. Love you so much. My problems with Blackish is the father on the show. Because basically a lot of the show is that the father is very pro-black and his children are the newer generation. So obviously they enjoy a lot of things that aren't quote unquote black. Okay. So his thing is he's always trying to get them to be more quote unquote black. And it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can see why that would be a problem.
It makes me so uncomfortable. And if he was my father, I know we wouldn't have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Because once again, being black is not a personality trait, and it's not something that you can just put on and just and take off. You can't do that. And a lot of what I saw in him was what I see in a lot of parents who have gay children, where they're trying to force you to be a certain way that you're not. And for me, it's just really gross to me, and it really made me. And in the 3 episodes I watched, it made me so uncomfortable. And I know that's not the point of the show, and it's not the tone of the show, but that's all I got from it. So I personally just couldn't watch it.
Yeah, because, I mean, even when I go on social media, we all go on social media, and you got that person that thinks any move that a white person makes is racist or against some culture in some way, shape, or form.
Don't mind me back here, y'all. I'm fixing me something to drink.
And it's crazy to me because, once again, that goes back to blacks don't accept other cultures.
Right.
We don't. So anything that is foreign to us is a problem. When, as black people, we should have the opposite kind of mindset, because once again, we were seen as the aliens for a very long time. So the mistreatment that we've had as people, we should be the bigger adults, quote unquote, and we should accept other people's cultures.
But see, I feel like that's a hard thing to say when our culture is taken and taken and taken and taken, and we're not even given credit for it. I mean, how many times do you see, and nothing against the Kardashians, love them so much, they don't do nothing wrong to my eyes,
but still
how many times do you see the Kardashians in the media, and they'll wear cornrows, or they'll have wear their nails or clothes a certain way, and all of a sudden is, oh my God, guys, have you seen those crop rolls? The Kardashians started it. They started a new trend, and it's just like, we've been doing this
for like 100 years.
Forever. So to say we need to be the adults, it's not that. It's
easier said than
done because our culture is taken and used and utilized by so many different nationalities. So many. How many times do you see, like, let's just put it all on the table right now.
Okay, Anthony Anderson.
I mean, let's just put it all. I mean, no, but seriously, let's just put it all out there. You hear it all the time. White kids are now listening to rap music. Asian kids.
Oh, I've been hearing
Latino
that.
kids.
I've been hearing that.
You see it so much, and then when you speak about it, then we're being the problem. Quote unquote. We wear our clothes and whatnot. When other races start wearing it, we gotta shut the fuck up, because if we say something about it, then we're being the problem. When white women started getting their lips done, when they started getting tans and whatnot, when they started wearing their hair a certain way, when we started saying something about it, it became a problem. Because we couldn't allow them to do what they wanted to do. Why do we have to argue about why somebody who's not black can't say nigga? Why do I have to argue this with you?
I don't understand the argument.
Why is this even an argument?
Quick story.
Yeah.
So I was at a party with some of my friends. Now, it's me, a couple of my black friends, a couple of my white friends. We at a party, woo woo. And so, you ever see that meme where it's like you leave for 2 minutes and all you come back is, well, nobody should be able to say it?
Yes.
Kid you not, I'm sitting here over with one of my friends from school, and we're sitting here talking about something or another. And then I hear my boy, he said nigga.
He a white boy?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, oh, shit. So I walk over, because I tiptoe over. And, all my other black friends, they're like, what the fuck? Like, what's his problem? And he was like, how come I can't say it, but you guys can? Do you need to own everything we have?
Right.
You done owned us for 300 years. You want to own the words we say too? No. And then they want to get an attitude because you can't say it.
Yeah.
I feel like you should feel uncomfortable with saying that.
Exactly.
Knowing the history. There should not have to be an argument or any of that. It shouldn't even be where that shit is about to slip out of your mouth at all.
Thank you.
Like, that should make you so uncomfortable, just the fact that you know that came from a negative ass place.
Yeah.
Why would you feel like it's okay for you to say it?
Exactly.
And I'm about to break the myth. It doesn't bring you any closer to being one of us.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Which, what is one of us?
I feel like it makes it a separation.
And to be
Even
honest with you,
still.
I feel like when you're that comfortable using it, you can say what you feel like you can say with your other friends.
Oh,
And
you know
that's
they,
a
and you know
problem.
they say with their other friends.
They do. Oh, they do.
You know they do.
Or they try to be real slick about it and slip it in while we all singing a song in the car. You blank it out. You don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't even say that word.
I had a whole friend. I have a whole friend. My homeboy, he was like, okay, if you sing it in a song, I even give you that. Okay, I even give you that. If we sing it in a song, we sing it in a song. That's how the song was written. Whatever, I don't care. Just don't say the shit in conversation. This man gonna go into a whole I have a dream speech about why he should be able to say it. Had a whole paragraph and everything. I'm just sitting here reading this shit. I'm just like, oh, you upset?
And yeah,
You mad? You big mad?
and that's why I say
I feel like I'm be uncomfortable around that person. Like I
Exact-
can't be around you. You can't be in my circle or anything because you're
Yeah.
disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And that's why I say, I understand where you're coming from, where you say we should be much more open to other cultures, but when ours is being taken advantage of at every chance it
How
gets,
can you be?
how can you be? How can you? It's easier said than done. You know?
Because my whole thing is, you know, I personally, if you gonna talk to me, yes, we should be more open to other cultures because this is a big world. It is more than just us. But you should also have respect for the fact that we do have our own.
Yes.
We don't sit here and try to take what you guys have or your amalgamation you call a culture. We don't do anything with that. We got our own. We're quite content.
Yeah.
But when you decide to intrude on our culture like you do everything else, and you want to sit here and tell us to be quiet about it, well, no. We're gonna sit here and have a problem.
Exactly.
We look, I got time. I'm comfortable. My check just came in. I'm about it. It's a Friday. I'm down.
Right.
So
Now, did you have a question before I start with mine? Because I have a question.
go ahead.
How do you all feel about the Black Lives Matter movement?
It's failed. It's failed. Shut it down. It's canceled. Try again next year.
Because I'm on the fence. Because I have opinions. But Gigi, how do you feel?
Haven't Caucasians got involved with it also?
I think so. Yeah, they're
Yes.
allies.
I don't know how I feel. I haven't really been following any of it, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't really.
Well, I'll say this because I feel like the movement started with good intentions, just like the feminist movement. It started with good intentions to bring a lot more, attention to a lot of the unrightful killings of so many of our black brothers and sisters. The problem is that there are a lot of black people out there, and this is gonna upset some people, but it is what it is.
If you get upset, that means you are a part of the problem.
Right. The problem is that there are a lot of black people that don't seek equality; they seek privilege.
Superiority.
Yeah, they want superiority as opposed to being equal with their fellow man.
What do you mean by that?
Like basically, instead of seeing themselves as equal with somebody who is white or Asian or Latino, they want to be over them, like how at one point white people had control over us.
When it's not a battle of tug of war.
Yeah.
It's the same, like he said, with the feminist movement. It's like a classroom. you've got a group of kids who have a privilege, and then a couple kids, they ruin it. And they ruin it for everybody. So now, instead of, just kind of having that, ruined for everybody on the outside who sees the feminist movement now, it's like, let me, burn it with hot fire.
And it's so unfortunate because the feminist movement and the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as other movements, they're so important. They're so important. But you have those people that ruin it. The people who, because I'm going to be honest with you, I can't 100% say I'm behind the Black Lives Matter movement because of the fact that I know, God forbid something was to happen to me, my black gay life doesn't matter. It
stops at a point.
It stops. For the most part, it stops at a point because there are numerous black LGBT members who get killed all the time. And within the city, we just had a trans woman get killed just last week, and no one is saying anything about it. In fact, when you read about it and go in the comments, is that faggot deserved it, that nigga bitch deserved it, that it was God's plan. But then you go down their timeline, they're the same people who are screaming Black Lives Matter and, we have to stand behind each other. But y'all don't stand behind us when things happen to us.
Which makes no sense because, once again, if we have to endure racism from every spectrum, not just white people, if we have to endure racism from every spectrum, how come you can't have a more open mind about someone who may have a different sexual preference? Because need I mind you, it's a sexual preference.
Literally,
it's a choice, but once again, with the sexual preference, this is an ease of mind.
Yeah.
All of this is literally an ease of mind.
My thing is, not even 60 years ago, we were segregated from white people. We had to go in. We had whatever restaurants or whatever we had to go in from the back. We couldn't use public water fountains that white people use. We had to use separate ones. We have so much going against us. How dare us as black people push away and alienate and demonize a whole community of people just because we don't agree with their lifestyle?
And those are the black people that are literally the same as those racist white people.
Yeah.
That's
They're literally
why
the same.
I said I don't see any type of difference.
Yeah.
I don't. Whenever I'm dealing with people, I see you as a person. We're all human. I don't see the difference. I don't see, okay, since you're gay, then I can't be bothered with you, or I can't do this, or I can't do that with you. That shit doesn't matter. If you're a cool person, we vibe together, we can be friends.
Exactly.
We can hang out. We can do all that. I'm going to let you be who you are.
Yeah.
I don't understand how a human being could get killed or whatever, and they attack that person. Oh, that bitch deserved it, or thatness. Excuse me, let's please go back to it being a whole human being that just got killed, that has a family.
Yes.
That's ridiculous as hell to me.
Yes.
That makes me uncomfortable as fuck.
And the thing is, and you can only imagine how I feel when it's my Facebook friends, when it's people that I know and it happens to them, and God forbid it happens to them. When the Orlando Post shooting happened, that was I refused to go into the comment section for that. Because I knew it would be so many people saying those faggots deserved it. It was God's plan. That was supposed to happen. Jesus is cleansing the earth. You would be surprised the hate and that people have against the LGBT community, especially when it's a minority.
I'm going to say a new rule for 2018 going forward. If you hate homosexuals, you are Uncle Tom. Period.
I agree.
You're Uncle Tom.
I agree. I can agree.
Coon.
I can agree with that because and that's the thing. For me, I will always support my black brothers and sisters, but for me, I can't guarantee that I will get that support back, and that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because once again, those black people. See, people are tricky in general. Because when it comes to, oh yeah, I'm black and I'm proud and they learn it from their parents about being black and being proud, or they learn it from social media because, now it's a thing. But then when it comes to homosexuality, the script flips. And it's like, you pick and choose what you want to. So this isn't a thing of, I learned it from my parents. Because quite honestly, there are things that from my parents I will never take.
Yeah.
So you have the power to pick and choose, especially if you're older.
Yes.
And you decide to say, hey, I hate homosexuals, but yet I'm black and I'm proud. You're literally a walking contradiction.
Yeah.
You are a walking, breathing contradiction.
You can't say that you're behind black people if you're not for all of us. So to me, that's what dismantles the whole Black Lives Matter movement.
Plus, on top of what
I can see that.
It dismantles it because you're here for black men and black women and children. But what about those of us that are, LGBT?
Shit, Black Lives Matter fell in stages because you had those woke ass Twitter people who always feel like they're, Angela Davis or something.
Yeah, the
Hashtag woke.
hoteps.
And
Hashtag woke.
and then go and say some buffoonery.
Yeah.
Trying thinking you gonna be the next Martin Luther King or something. And then you come out and talk some craziness about white people. Okay, now you're part of the problem.
Your argument demeans itself when you start attacking other races.
Well, yes, exactly.
It demeans itself.
Because once again, that's how the feminist movement failed.
Yeah.
You start attacking men, saying how men are trash. Okay, you know what? Let's slow up.
Because you're not wrong. But yes.
Because once again, I understand people have their situations and their interactions.
Yes.
But it does take maturity to move on from those interactions. It takes maturity because once again, not everybody is like that. It's the same with white people. I have white friends that don't condone the use of the word nigga. I have friends that don't condone racism in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But when you have black people who will solely focus on everything bad that a white person has done, and it's not focused on the fact that this person is willing to help you, you not only hinder yourself, but you hinder black people as a whole.
Yeah.
And that's just the first part. The second part is when those kids attacked that white boy that had the mental illness.
Yeah.
And then trapped him in that house that was for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
Now you got renegades.
Yeah.
And renegades is what will kill a movement in a heartbeat.
Are you looking for a new choice for healthier, more beautiful skin? Then check out Bath Savvy. Bath Savvy creates unique recipes for all natural body creams, oil blends, sugar scrubs, and more using premium pampering ingredients for the health and beauty of skin. Check them out at bathsavvy.com for all their bundle deals and updates for more products. Now, you brought up mental illness. I really want to jump on the topic of that because I notice a lot in the black community that we don't discuss our mental illnesses or anything like that. And
at all.
It doesn't happen. And it's really just now starting to become a common thing where in our generation, we'll talk amongst each other about it, but we wouldn't dare bring it up to our parents.
We're not going to bring it up to our parents because our parents act like they don't understand what a mental illness is. Oh, my kid, ain't nothing wrong with my kid. Ain't nothing wrong with my kid. Mental illness is not, oh yeah, okay, he's slobbing from the mouth or he speaks in howls or whatever.
Yeah, it's not.
Mental illness is literally okay, just from the smallest of okay, I can't handle this stress to I'm suicidal.
Yeah.
I think black people use mental illness as like a weakness.
Yeah.
Where they feel like they can't discuss it because if I say the slightest thing is wrong with me, then they seem weak or less than, or they not as strong anymore, or whatever. So I feel like that's the reason why a lot of times, Black families don't discuss mental illness, even though it is very real, and even parents will see that their kid is going through whatever, and they'll probably do different things like trying to have a discussion, but a lot of times they don't take it as serious as they should.
They don't.
And that's the reason why the kid is acting out in school, or the kid ended up in jail, all type of little crazy shit. That's why
I heard it a lot of times in church, where because I grew up in the church. Like a lot of my family members were very involved in the church, and I always heard a lot of times with other kids my age growing up where, you know, they would have an anxiety attack or a panic attack or whatever, and it was always, don't claim that, or just pray on it.
Yep.
You know, it
just pray on it.
And yes, and I'll say this: I am a God-fearing man. You know, although I am gay, I am a Christian. You know, so I do believe that prayer helps and prayer works. But you have to put the footwork in it too. And I feel like another reason why that I've noticed a lot of Black families don't pay attention to mental illness is because, as much as we say, you know, go see a therapist or go see a psychologist, it's expensive.
and that's I feel like that's inaccurate.
It's inaccurate, but I feel like not only is it expensive, but I feel like a lot of times too, a lot of parents don't want to accept that first and foremost. They don't want to accept their kids may have a mental illness. They also feel like it's another expense that they don't want to take on.
But they can do drugs and
Right, go
do
get
alcohol
your hair,
and
get your hair did.
all that different type of things that doesn't really matter.
Yes.
But I say that I feel like the therapist or the counseling, you said that it's expensive. It's really not.
Okay.
And that's the same thing that I just found out about lawyers. Lawyers aren't a lot either. But you
Okay.
just have to do your research and actually find people that actually, you know, do things to actual help out. Because I have a friend, he's a therapist.
Yeah.
I do my show with him. He's not expensive at all.
Okay.
And he definitely is for the Black community or just anyone in
Yeah.
general. But yeah, he definitely does do counseling, and he's really good.
See, that's really interesting because it was always made it out to me that it was like expensive.
No.
So that's why I kind of had the idea that maybe that was a reason why. Wow.
You do your research, you can find anything for cheap.
Wow.
Google is amazing.
Wow.
Buns.
because you know, and because the thing is that another thing about that is like, even if you do your research, a lot of us, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a side-eye a cheap therapist, a bit.
But you shouldn't.
But you know, like a lot of times, sometimes penny pinching doesn't work out. Sometimes.
But
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah, it could be where. Okay, so how my friend does it, he does different prices for different people.
Okay.
So it's like if you're looking for counseling and you just really want it and you don't have the funds for it, he'll definitely work with you.
Okay.
And he's very affordable.
Okay.
He's actually my
Look, I might have to go
therapist.
talk to him. I
Okay.
got some things to get off my chest.
Me too.
No shade.
Yeah, but he's really good. He's very passionate about what he does. I feel like a lot of times, even though they went to school for it or whatever, they're not. They're doing it for a check because they know you get paid a lot for it.
Yeah.
But he's actually very passionate about what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the difference with him.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys think that? I mean, because I know for me, if I ever needed to talk to my mother about it, I could. If I was ever going through anything, I could talk to my mother.
Yep.
Could you guys talk to your parents about mental
No.
illness?
No.
Okay.
Because once again, it's a if I can do it, you can do it too kind of thing. And we can sit here and get mad at Republicans for doing it. We can't get mad at y'all for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't sit here and tell me because you did it, oh, you know, well, you can do it too. What I have to go through is a different beast than what you had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
At different times.
Exactly. Things are harder now than they were before. And my dad always never fails to say, oh, you can just walk into a job and just go and get it. No, you can't anymore. You can't. All you can do is put your application on a computer and hope and pray you get it.
Some jobs you can though.
Some jobs.
Yeah.
Some very few.
Yeah.
Because they.
And you need to know somebody there too.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know somebody there.
Yeah, because for the most part now you're just a name in the system.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
And it's
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
And
I
it's-
just had a thought.
What?
that I want to get into.
What?
It reminded me of what you just said. Reminded me of Raven Simone and that whole conversation on The View. How do you guys feel about when we name our children very like ethnic names? Like not the regular like Dan.
I have a very
Brittany.
ethnic name.
Not,
I have an ethnic name.
You do, but not in the way people would think.
Okay, now that don't expose me.
Because your name, if I didn't know you, I would have thought you were white. No shade. No shade. Klaus.
Just all of China.
I would have thought you were
all
German.
the tea in China.
I would have thought you were German. Like in all seriousness, because everyone, Nick at Night's name
Don't expose me.
is Niklaus.
Oh God.
It's not Nicholas, it's Niklaus.
Seriously?
Yes. I've been exposed.
Yeah.
So is that really? So when you like go and you approach people and you be like, "Hey, my name is Niklaus,"
I just say my name's Nick.
Mm-hmm.
but the correct pronunciation is
Yes.
Niklaus.
Yes.
That is really different.
Yeah.
Exposed.
It's different, but I wouldn't have guessed black, if that makes sense.
No, I
You
don't
know-
think I would have either.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed black, especially Niklaus Tanner.
Oh, just
You're right.
hold my whole government. You want to say my fucking social security number too?
Yeah, 313. But no, like,
Yeah.
I'm talking about those names like, Marquita or
You already know they're black.
Deontay, stuff like that. Like, do you feel like it hinders us from getting employment?
Yes.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because once again, we live in a time where people don't accept that.
Mm-hmm.
We just got ethnic hairstyles into professional fields. We just
True.
got that like maybe last
True.
year.
Mm-hmm.
We just got that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to names and all these people see is a name on a sheet of paper and they see your name is fucking Jamiroquai or something like that, then they're gonna be like, oh, no, because he's not marketable.
But see, what's funny about that?
What?
So I'm showing you my friend, her May, but her name is, let me say it right, because I always call her Mai, but her name is May Shande. And
She's a what?
Huh?
She's a what?
She's black.
But what does she do?
Right now she's she's a stylist now.
Yeah,
But-
you have to.
But getting jobs before, when she was working, because she worked at a few regular jobs, they hired her because of her name. Like whenever she applied, they liked that her name was different, and it was places like Champs, what was it, McDonald's, like it was other places that her name got her the job.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you. I'm
So
gonna stop
would
you.
you
I'm gonna
think that
stop
she
you right
could have
there.
got employed at a Chase?
What I'm saying is that on one hand we do.
Yes.
On one hand we do.
I do believe so.
Yeah. On one hand, we do get, the boot because of our names, but on the other hand, you might have those people where it's like, oh, well, let me bring her and see what,
Because I do believe there's two sides to that argument.
Yeah.
Yes, there are those because her name, it's a very soft name. It
Now
sounds
something
it's
like a
Meshande. It sounds soft, but it sounds ethnic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds accepting.
yeah.
But when you
not
have names
ratchet.
like Marquita or Leviticus Brown, I look, I'm being serious.
Mm-hmm.
When you have names like that, some of those names aren't going to be accepting because they do sound like the preconceived stereotype. Exactly.
So listen to this.
Yes.
I have a cousin, and her name is Quite.
That's pretty.
Do you guys think she's black or white?
Sounds like a Pokemon.
But do you guys think she's black or
I
white?
think she's a black.
What do you think?
Watch her
Nick?
be Japanese.
What do you think she is?
I'm going to say Japanese. Final answer.
She's white.
Really?
Yeah, and her name is Quite.
I have a funny story. So my coworker's sister, she comes to the workout because I work on Planet Fitness.
Uh-huh.
She comes to the workout sometimes. Her name is Biche,
Biche.
but it's spelled like bitch with an E.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. I am dead serious. So when I checked her in one day, and she had a thing on her screen where I had to say something to her. I had to tell her about her balance.
Yeah.
And I was like, Miss, because I didn't know how to go about that. So when I was talking to her, I said, how do you pronounce your name? She was like, it's Bishak. And I was like, she was like, yeah, my sister calls me bitch all the time.
That is different.
She was like,
so her mom didn't think that through, or she just thought.
She just went along with it because I guess her mother has a really ethnic name too. Like she has a very like name like that. You don't know.
Bishak.
She was like, the girl was like, imagine me trying to go to Starbucks. Oh, it was hilarious. Oh, it was hilarious. We had a good little key about that.
That is hilarious.
But it was just so crazy to me. Like her name. But I say all that to say it made me want to get to know her.
Yeah.
You know? It made me want to get to know her.
And I feel like it's easier when it's a girl compared to when it's a guy.
Oh, I harass guys all the time about their names.
Because I feel like, guy names, their parents already named them to be hard anyway. And, masculine names. So, okay, so now one, it's a masculine name, and two, it's ethnic.
There's this guy that I used to work with, and his name is Salami, but it's spelled like salami.
Salami.
So I was always calling salami. It was just the funniest thing to me. It was just I don't know, because when you have different names like that, it's like, okay, where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
Where did your parents get that from?
Yeah.
You know? Now, would you guys name your children like any like special names like that, or would you just try to keep it simple?
Yeah, I would definitely try to keep it simple so my kids don't have to go through any of the bull.
But what do you think that says about our economy and our like civil society and whatnot?
It's very whitewashed. It's very whitewashed because we have to go and we have to name our kids just to secure their future.
True.
Yeah. Because once again, having kids is already hard enough. We have to sit here and plan in our heads. Okay, what are we gonna name them? What school are we gonna put them in? Because we're trying to secure their future. Mm-hmm. And that's already hard enough. Because why can't I name my child something that celebrates my culture? I have to name something that celebrates your, once again, amalgamation of a culture.
Right.
I don't want to name my kid Dylan. Or I don't want to.
That's my puppy's name.
That is so cute.
Great.
That is so cute.
What kind of dog is it?
It's a Shih Tzu.
Dylan.
Yeah.
That's cute.
He's so cute too.
I gotta meet him.
Yes.
I love dogs.
But once again, we have to sit here and we have to already kind of battleship our kids' future, and it already starts with their name.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was to name my child something different, it would probably be the middle name and not the first.
Same here.
Just to make sure that you're secure for sure. But if I want to get a little different,
yeah,
I'm gonna do that with the middle name, not the first.
I agree with that.
Even my middle name wasn't safe.
Yeah. I could feel that.
Yeah.
Now my thing is, now when it comes to children,
What is your middle name?
Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Devin.
James. Go on.
Yeah, please.
Tristan.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I love Tristan.
Yes.
Even though I have beef with the Tristan. I just love the name Tristan though. That's cute.
What was your guys' almost name? Because, fun fact, I was almost a Nick.
Really?
I was almost a Nick. I was almost a Cruz, and I was almost a Chase.
Cruz, that is so cute. I think my mom said that she was gonna name me Renee or something like that, or like.
I could see you as a Renee.
Something with her and my dad's name mixed, cause I'm a junior named right after my mom. So, my mom's name, of course, is Regina, and my dad's name is Lance.
Okay.
So she was gonna like try and mix them somehow.
Jalance.
Like make it
Jalance.
like Elena or something like that. But I'm just like,
You know what I could see you as though?
What?
I could see you as a Maxine.
Maxine?
Mm-hmm.
I've always like my other identity is Carmen.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick, what was your almost name?
I never cared to ask.
Really?
I'm like, you look, all right, look, I'm afraid. If I'm stuck with the name I got now, I'm afraid to ask.
Really?
I would have want to know.
Me too.
Like, I think
especially
you
if they
should
got
ask.
Nick Klaus.
Yeah. I think
like
you should
I
ask.
feel like I would have been named after some kind of like IKEA furniture.
I hate them.
Please ask your parents so that we can have an update next week.
Yes, please. I really
My
want to
grandmother
know.
would know. My grandmother would definitely know.
Because we need to know.
Yeah.
Because we need to know. Yeah. But speaking of, we're going to cut this episode short today. We're going to cut it short because we're going to have a part 2 for next week. So with that being said, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Please, please, please come back for the next episode where we continue our talk on what it means to be black. See you guys next time. It's Pink Yoga out.